In this video, we'll focus on the next part, which is the point of sales system JavaScript part 3. So in part 3, we're going to focus on the clear button that eventually needs to be in here, but also we would like to fine tune this here. So this will be slightly more complicated because the clear button must also count this, and we'll be working on that step by step. Alright, so the first thing what you need to do here is to fine tune this with some proper JavaScript CSS. So all we have to do here is in this section here, because this is still the order basket that we need to work on. And in this order basket, we need to clean up, or let's see what we need to do here. Well, first of all, we want this maybe side by side. We have, or at least these need to be very similar to this here. We can make the image smaller, but in this case, that will not be the big issue. We can make it round the borders as well here. That will be a nice one. Let's do that first. Alright, so we're going here, and then we have to search here for the image. This is the image specifically that's somewhere here down. You can see here the order image tag class name. And this is very nice. This class name, you have class name and you have class list. Basically with this one, we can assign multiple items at once. So we can do this one here, and what we want to do here, maybe we can say here, round it. And we could do a border. That will be fine. So if I do this now and refresh, you can see here now, we are rounded, we have a border, maybe we can do here, border dark. There we are. Alright, we have that one. And then what we want to do is we want to push this to the side here. To do this, we need to understand what is our structure here. Right now, basically we have a, this is a list item. Alright, so let's look at what we have here. Let's look at this. We need to look at this specific one here, the code 199. Alright, so this is basically here. And what we want to do here, and this is quite nice if you have the sample here yourself. Once you have this, you can play around with it as well. And all we can do here is basically a class, and this is quite nice in Bootstrap. They have this one, but of course, if you have CSS, you can just do it yourself as well. But this is the Flexbox. So we're going to use the Flexbox here, because with the Flexbox, we can put this side by side, and this we have to eventually look how we can put it. We can put it here, we can put it maybe the price at the end here, and then the text here in the sides, or we can put the price down below. This doesn't matter. So what I will do here is, well, we can put the text, image plus text together, price at the end. And then later on this could be here, maybe one down, and then of course we have here then specified how many items and the total price. So we're going to do here, let's look at this, we say here Flexbox, and then we say here, let's see, do I know the term here? I am afraid I need to just get Bootstrap. I'll just get Bootstrap. Alright, so I've just loaded Bootstrap, and I would suggest for yourself as well, you can try and do that as well. Here in Bootstrap, we are looking just basically for two things. We can do the justified contents and item aligns. Aligns item, that's the official term. So what we're going to do is basically this effect we want to have, but only with two items, but this is the one we need. Let's remove that. And then we say here, between, so justified content between. Let's copy that. And then what we want to do as well, if I save this right now, you will see here, refresh. Alright, that works. And then what I want to do, just to make sure that this will be in the exact center, meaning vertical center. So we say here, align items, select this, and then we get this specific item here that says align items to the center. So we get that there, we save that, refresh. Alright, so now you saw it's slightly went down, fair enough. Now what I want to do is I want to put these two together. So what we need to do here, that would mean we need to have a span there. So let's see how we're going to do this one here. So we have this here. What we need to do now is we just need to copy this, sorry, before we do anything else, we need to copy all of this. And this is in the LI class. So we're going to look for here where we have the LI, text danger, order items. Where is the LI? That is this one here. And the LI doesn't have a specific class. I don't see anything here with the order item on the class. And am I correct? We can validate. If we click on something, we can just double check if this is really true. Alright, there's something here as well. We need to solve that later on. And let's see here. So this should be part of this specific item. Let's see. Can we find that? There we are. All right. So you can see here we have a tiny mistake as well. I didn't realize this. This should be in here. And this li has no class at all. So what we're going to do here is copy that chunk of code here. I'm going to play around with that. And then we say here constant dot. And then we just get here basically here the class name. Class name equals. Then multiple classes here. Put it in there. Save that. Refresh. Alright. So now you can see it is splitting, or it's separating each other from left to the right. Now what we need to do is to make sure that the image is part of the list item. And the reason why the image is not part of the list item is probably, first of all, we have the item here, the order list, which is the append. But this should be done afterwards here, if I'm not mistaken. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut this out first. Let's cut this out. Make sure it is in here, because this is the append of the order items. So we need to make sure that everything else has been appended. Let's load. Double check here now again. Oh, alright, sorry, I need to press. Alright, so let's see what happens here. Something is happening, but it's not really an item. And I'm going to solve this issue here as well afterwards. We are still outside of the item. Fair enough, so we're going to solve that. Alright, what I will do is first, let's remove this item here, which is on line 215. So what is that exactly? That is the price reduce. Alright, there's some chunk of code here that we don't need. So if I comment this out, save this, refresh, click on that. Alright, that one is already solved, so we can remove that, save that. Open up this, so we click there, doesn't show anything nicely. So now what we want to do here is basically the following. We have this item here, and let's see how we can put this down in here. So this is the hardest part basically with JavaScript, is to figure out the part where they are. Because here now is basically, we have no way to imagine it except for what we have here. But here the code is basically the conversion to a picture. So now what we're trying to do is to figure out here what it is, convert it back here. However, we understand that the image is being added at the very end. So somehow it is not appending to the li. So let's double check what happened here exactly. We have this one here. It needs to append in the li. Alright. Let's see. Let me double check this part here. This is the only struggling here, of course, because it's very hard to imagine. So we have this here, we have this. What happens exactly at the very end? Am I correct? Oh no, sorry. It's at the very first, it puts in here. So why are you appending outside the li? So let's double check here. What is the li here? Create. We have here the li. So we want to append this to the li. If we append it to the li, what are we missing? I'm going to pause the video and just solve it quickly. Alright, so after checking, I figured it out. So what we really want to do here, or why is it outside of the box, or outside of the list item, is because we're appending it outside of it. We're not even appending it inside the list item, but we're appending it on the order list. So let's look here up. There's the order list, is the ID itself that holds everything. And what we want to do is on this document create element li, which is the order item, not the list itself, because the list is basically everything here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to change it to order item. If we save this now, refresh, and now select. Alright, order item, sorry, it should be order. Yeah, order item. What did I do? That's the one here, order item. Refresh, double click, there we are. So now it works, but of course, because of the Flexbox, and it's being added at the very end, or very last moment, what happens is, and because of that, the item adds up at the very end. Alright. So how do we solve this? Well, we can move some things around. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to attach certain items, but which one will get priority? Well, we have the order item, which would be this text node and that specific text node, we can move that one at the very end here. So what will happen is we will first append the image, and then we're going to append the other two items. So if I save that, refresh, there we are. So now they're side by side. Alright. But we have to do eventually here, this we want to put it here together. So how are we going to work around on this? Well, we have to fine tune this a bit more. Let's start working on that. So what we want to do here, these two needs to be together. So this means that this should be in a span basically. So if I look at this, let's look at the Coke item here, or look at this specific item here. Go up here. We have this here, and here we have this, and all we have to do here is basically to create a new span. Put this together, and then save that. And then refresh, you can see now we have this item matched together. So what we're going to do is basically the same here. We're going to match them together, but we have to very carefully check which two needs to be matched together. And I guess the order item, these two should be matched together in a span. So how will we do this? Well, what we need to do here is to create a new item. Let's see how we can make this quite organized, because I notice it becomes very disorganized right now. So what I'm going to do is here, this. I'm going to get this one here. And let's see, these two will be blended together or combined together. Alright, so you say combine this. And that one as well. End of combine. Combine. Alright, so in here, what we're going to do is here create a order item. Let's call it a what is it? Left side span. Alright, I don't know any better name, so I'm just going to give it like this. So this one will be, and then what happened is we want to append this in this left side span. Alright, so once we do this, we have these now combined, and I will just well, you can just leave that for now. So this is combined, but then what we need to do, we need to append this left side span first before we append this one here. Alright, so this is very important, because what we want to do first is put this first in here, so that these two will be first, and then after the pricing. So to do this, we're going to work with this item here, and we say order item dot append child. And I realize I'm seeing here something. I'm not sure if I made this mistake before. I'll just put in a child, because this should be child. This should be not append only. If you have that same mistake, make sure you fix that one as well. It should be append child. And then what we say here, we're going to append the left side span in here first. Once we have added that one, then we will add up the other span, and that should work nicely. So let's see now if this works. Click, click, there we are. Alright, so it works, and for some reason it does break some of our design. And here probably we need to maybe fix certain item here, because I don't understand why this is breaking it as completely. Alright, so that will be something else. If I would expand this, maybe would that work? No. Alright, so I'll be looking into that later on. Most important one right now is we can remove the upper item. Let's do that. We have this here as well, so I wonder why this is counteracting on it, but it doesn't matter for now. So what we're going to do is remove our demo item, because now we're satisfied with what we have so far, or at least satisfied with the results so far. So we're going to remove this, only the list items section. The UL, maintain this, because this is part of the function. Alright, save that. Then if I click on this, alright, I'm not 100% satisfied. We'll fix that later on. I'll just check that later on. But what I want to do now, and if I click on the drinks, do I see saying, alright, everything works. There should maybe be a span here or some padding between there. I will work on that later on, or we can just put a space here. If we are allowed to put a space here, that would be even easier. We can do it in here, And all we say here is we will plus on the item name, we just concatenate basically, space. Save that. Refresh. Click, click. Alright. That works. So we have this here now. What we want to do now is this should be fine-tuned here. This should be below each other. But also here we need to have the button. Alright, so we go to the order. And in the order here, we can also create basically 2 items. So I want to do a span. And basically we're going to move the other item in here. And then we can say here, class, this could be a Flexbox, same structure. We could copy this part here. Just copy this one. Deflex, justified content between, item align. Alright. Here. And then what we want to do here is another item, which is a button tag. And in this button tag, we can say a class btn small. So it's a small button, and we can give this btn danger for a red button. But what this will be is eventually clear. And what I want to do eventually is then we click on this, we should be able to clear this part. So to clear this part would mean this here must be all empty. But there's more to this, by the way. It's not only that this should be empty, but here we have the array needs to be reset as well, because we want to remove everything. Alright, so to do this, this is basically a function. So the on click, let's say here, let's see what's the term here. We have the order basket. So I will say here, what would be nice, clear order basket or order basket clear. I like to use the command at the end or the function main name at the front. And the main reason for this is I would know that these are directly connected to each other. You might say clear order basket would be far more common or make more sense. That is correct, but this is for me a code that I understand that this function is directly connected to this function here. And basically what we want to do here is just only one thing. Go down here and create here a function. And this function will say clear order basket. And all we'll do is the following. We're going to grab here the ID. Where is that ID? Name, order list. And I guess we have a constant here. Can we use this constant? Get element constant order list was in this block scope. So since this is in a block scope, it's not possible. Then we're not able to reuse this. So we could do maybe a let. We might use that one here. And we need to have this one as well as a let. Where are you? Alright. So we have these two here. If not, we'll get a problem because not allowed to use constant twice in JavaScript. It gives you an error. Alright, so we have this here, and all we want to do here, we say the following. Dot inner HTML equals blank. Very straightforward. Let's double check if this is correct. Then we put in here something, and then we clear. There we are. Alright, but as you can see, once we clear it, what's going on here is this is not clearing as well. So what we need to do now is to clear the array in here. Because what is really happening, let me show you. Console.log. And we have here the arrays that we have at the very, very top. So we have this. It's going to grab all the arrays that we have. How many arrays we have? In total, we should have 3 arrays. That is correct. I'm going to copy that, put it in here. And then I'll just copy this 2 more times. There we are. Then we say here, put in this, and that one. There we are. Save this, refresh. So now we click on this, and if I open up the console log, we have this here array. All the arrays are being copied. If you click on this, it empties up. But what is happening more is it shows everything here. This, of course, is not empty. So what we need to do now, we have to clear this as well at the same time. And this should be a nice pale button, like a circle. I want to do that one as well, sorry. It's just for making it a bit more nicer on the design. So we say pales, I guess pales or pale button. Just to make it a bit more appealing. Do we have pales? No. Is it on borders? I guess it's in borders. Alright, that's the one we want. Rounded pale. Sorry, I just would like to solve that one as well. So we have that solved that looks a bit more appealing to the I. We have that. Save this. And then next what we want to do here, of course, this one. Alright, so how do we empty an array? Well, it's very straightforward. If you have this one here, we can say here, it's basically this length. So you have the length of this array. Let's see here, console.length. And I'm going to show you. Save this. Go back here. Click, click, then click. There we are. We can see here the length. And now what I'm going to do is, we're going to say this length. Now we say length equals 0. Very simple. Very straightforward. We just make it 0 again. So if I save this now, press clear. There you are. So now the length is 0. Of course, this part here needs to be updated as well. So we need to combine these as well. So what we're going to do here, first of all of these should be assigned with a length of 0. So we're going to grab this and we just copy this chunk of code, put it 3 times in there, and then make sure you have every array in here. So the order items, the order price array, and the order array. And I realize here this should be more properly, or basically the naming convention here is very counterintuitive. It's one with and others without. So that is not really organized, but that's alright for now. But I would highly recommend, if you're starting from scratch, try to use like order list, camel case basically here, instead of this, because this is not a consistent structure. Alright, we have this for now. Put in here. So now we need to empty this one. So how do we empty this specific item here? Well, we have this here, and we remember we have like the code here, and I realize that this code could be done far more better. We'll do that in the other video or the next part. What I want to do here, just for now, to make sure that when we clear the basket, I would like to trigger these functions as well. How do we do that? All we do is this. For here, total items, and then here the same story. This would mean go to this function here and trigger this here. So what will happen is basically this will be recalculated based on our new values that we have here. Save this, let's double check. Select, 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 select. Clear. Oh, it doesn't work yet. Alright, so let's see what happened. Or maybe I need to do this. That's probably the reason why. Save that. Try again. Clear. Alright, as you can see here, it's now being cleared. Something here is being reduced, no initial value. Alright. So of course here this is realizing that it cannot trigger it if there is no value at all. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create an if statement. If statement to solve this specific issue here, because we're not allowed to reduce an empty array. Alright. So we say here if. Let's see what's the array, order price array. And all we do is here is if order price array equals strict 0, at that moment, then we can say here, we have to say here value equals 0. So I have to see what I'm going to do here. Return 0, I guess. Return 0. And else we can put in this here. Let's see, this is the function. Alright, let's see if this will work. We'll move that one here. So if 0 do this, else we have this one here. What we can do here, maybe return 0 should not be, but we could say here this inner text equals the value of 0. That makes more sense. Alright, space here, over a tab. There we are. So if I save this now, it will also cover our issue here. Save this, refresh, click, 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 clear. There we are. So now we have this here, and this is quite nice. And what I will do in the next video is solve this specific item here, get this more nicely done. And I realize that we're forgetting here eventually the delete button of this one, because what we want to do eventually here is delete this specific item as well, and that will be crucial for us. So Next video, first fine tune a little bit of these, and after that we're going to work with one of the largest one, which is more complicated, is the delete button.